Hey YouTube, how the heck we doing? This video is going to be an update on Season 12 preseason. It's going to be my first impressions of what is OP and what's not OP. What builds am I running? What runes am I running? That's going to help you take on the preseason with a nice win rate and some fat stacks of LP. All right, you better drop a like and comment down below because this video is going to give you so much info. I earned that like, okay? Let's get right into it. I'm going to start with the build and then follow with the rune page that goes with the build to keep things easier. Also, at the end, I'll mention popular runes and builds that y'all are running, but that I think are poo-poo, okay? So let's jump right into it. The first build will be PTA Riftmaker. This build was popular in Season 11. It works off going Press the Attack, and you go Berserker Greaves, you go Nashers and Riftmaker, and it creates a nice early game spike with Berserkers and Press the Attack, and it allows you to win 1v1s and win all-ins that you couldn't without it. This build is good versus a lot of bruisers and tanks. Think any matchup that you can auto 3 times easily, this build is going to be great into, especially if the enemy team has bruisers and tanks to milk Press the Attack. Now, not much has changed with this build. Demonic Embrace and Cosmic Drive got buffed slightly. Void Staff got buffed slightly. Shadow Flame got introduced, and the other items are the same. So this build is going to be the same as last season. I'm not going to go over every situational buy with the items, but this is pretty much what you're looking at. Personally, what I recommend for y'all, I recommend just items that will always give you a nice punch. So I would recommend Demonic Embrace and Cosmic Drive since they both are very good. Cosmic Drive if you're running Presence of Mind. Because these items will always give you value. You don't have to use them. Zanyas can be the best item in the game, the worst item in the game. So I recommend to y'all something like this just so you're always getting value. But honestly, it's very situational, but this item is still going to be amazing. It's a very popular build and will remain a popular build. And let me show you what rune page you're rocking with that. So this item is fueled by the Press the Attack Berserker combo. So you'll be going that. I prefer Presence of Mind that gives all your mana problems in one small rune. And then, of course, Alacrity and Coup de Grace, easy. The secondary is going to be yours to play with. Taste of Blood, Ravenous Hunter will just give you more sustain. But if you like a little more early game power, Bone Plating, and then Overgrowth, or Second Wind and Overgrowth will help you in lane a little bit more. So up to you. The runes, the scaling health did get buffed, especially with this build, but you can also go Armor and MR. Totally up to you. So that will be the first build that has been good last season and will remain good. Press the Attack, Berserkers, along with Riftmaker. And that is going to be pretty much every lane that Press the Attack is good into. Now, the second popular build that I'm running is going to be a new one. It's actually going to be Tanky Teemo. And this was a thing last season with a challenger Teemo player called Ask for SoundCloud. Now, I don't believe he plays Teemo that much anymore, but he made it a challenger with this build. He ran this every game, so pay attention. And this is a very new but friendly build, part of my language. But this build is going to be more tanky and it's going to be more consistent. Sometimes the best thing on Teemo is just not dying, okay? And this build will be buffed because Demonic and Cosmic got buffed, okay? So pay attention. This build is going to be paired with Grasp, okay? So we'll start with the rune page on this one because that's very important. This build, you run Grasp every single game, okay? Demolish, Bone Plating or Second Wind based on the matchup, and Overgrowth. Then for your secondary is Taste of Blood, Rav Hunter, and you go the Health rune. Now I'll show you why. This build is a Tanky Teemo, and it got turbo buffed this preseason because of Demonic Embrace. So what you're going to do is you're going to go Tank Boots depending on your matchup, depending on the enemy team. Then you're going to get Nashers first. That's going to be your core, right? Because if you're tanky, you get to land more autos and Riftmaker. Now, after that, you're going Demonic. This is a core item in this build. So if you look at this build and why it's so good, in my opinion, is that you have Tanky Boots to help you survive, and you have your health with Riftmaker. And now, Demonic Embrace got buffed. It gives 450 health now, and it gives bonus AP based on your bonus health. Now, what this means is that when you have Riftmaker 300 health, you have 450 from the freshly buffed Demonic. You've got Overgrowth. You have Grass Stacks, okay? And you have Doran's Ring. All this equals to you having a whole lot of bonus health. This Demonic Embrace will actually give you around 85 AP when you buy it. This is going to make you very tanky, right? You're going to have around 3,000 health at 3 items. So, and you're still doing a lot of damage. So this build is very good in bronze, silver, gold, especially because the best thing is to not die. I'm even using it a lot and I love it. The only downside is if you're versing health shredding champions. If you verse an enemy Vayne, she might get you. If you verse 4 people with Landry's, it might not be good. But for the most part, it's going to be an amazing build. This will be a grasp every single game. You don't have to worry about situational items. This is the core. After this, it depends on the enemy team. I'm trying not to use Zanya since it's hard to use, but any health item will be good. You stack health with Cosmic Drive, Shadow Flame, Morellos. Anything works really, but this is the core. This is an AP kind of drain tank Teemo. Because you have all this health to work with. You have damage, of course, you're playing Teemo. And your rune page is giving you so much Omnivamp and Sustain and so much health. So it's a very durable Teemo. It personally, I think, will be my favorite. We shall see. That's my second best build in the preseason. Third best build, okay? And this is all for top lane so far. We're starting with top lane. Third best build is going to be Leandries. Now, Leandries is not bad. Leandries is a situational item. That doesn't mean it's bad, though. In certain situations, Leandries will be good. Leandries is amazing when you reverse a tank top laner, and they also have another bruiser or tank on the enemy team, or maybe 2 more bruisers and tanks. So if you have 3 champions that stack health, because health is the name of the game with Leandries. You have 3 champions on their team, this build will be good. A tank top or a bruiser top, a tank or bruiser jungle, and a tank or bruiser support. That could be fairly common. This build will be good. Again, Leandries isn't bad, but it's situational. If you look at the item, it deals percentage health based on their bonus health and based on their max health. That means it's good versus bruisers and tanks, aka health stackers. Also, keep in mind, if they have an enemy champion like Ezreal ADC, he doesn't get 400 health off the rip with Divine Sunderer. This is all stuff to pay attention to while you're building this item. If you don't want to do this, just go a Riftmaker build. Riftmaker is always good. This build is my favorite versus tanky targets, bruisers, tanks, health stackers. You're going to be going Pressy Attack with this build because Pressy Attack melts tanks, melts tanky targets. Then you're going to go Nashor's, Leandries. At this point, that enemy Scion gets evaporated. Those tanks shred because of Leandries. After that, it's going to be more situational. Demonic, again, has been turbo buffed. Demonic's also good versus tanks. Void Staff will be good versus tanks. And kind of just these situational items, I'm not going to go over every scenario, but they're going to be good in their own way, stuff to think about. But this is going to be great versus tank and shredding tanks. And again, this will be the same rune page as before, right there. And you're going to go Taste of Blood Rav Hunter because you need that sustain because we don't have Riftmaker. That's going to be my third favorite build. It's not, you shouldn't go that build every game, but when you're versus tanks and bruisers, aka health stackers, it's amazing. The fourth and final build that I'm going to be doing this preseason is going to be the one-shot Teemo. This build is amazing when you're versus a full squishy team. Also, a team that doesn't build magic resist. From the top lane, it doesn't happen often, okay? This doesn't happen often in the top lane, but when it does, it works out. So if you're versing that Kennen top lane or a Ryze top lane, right? Or any top lane that isn't a bruiser or tank, or if they're not going to build magic resist, this build is good. It really relies on Ludens and them being squishy or not building MR, okay? Very, very important to get that through. It's only good when they have squishies and not building magic resist. When that happens, you go Ludens and Sork Boots, and with all this magic pen from the passive from the item itself and Sork Boots, you hit for true damage. Now, these items are very important. When you're versus squishies, you don't always need Nashor's Tooth. So if you're versus squishies and you're one-shotting them or you're fed or whatever, Shadow Flame does a lot of magic pen, right? It gives up to 20 and it gives 100 HP. So one-shot HP stacking, very good on this item. You don't need Nashor's, but Nashor's obviously will be good. It's situational, right? And then after that, you look at their team. Are they building magic resist? This build's only good when they have Zero or MR, but if they are, Void Staff's fine. If not, more AP, and then Void Staff to finish. But these items are the core build. It just depends on which order you're going to build them in. In a build like this, you wouldn't be going Morello, you wouldn't be going Cosmic Drive, you wouldn't be going Demonic. If you feel like you need to go those items, you're using this build incorrectly. It's only good versus squishies and versus champions you could one-shot. Very important. If you build this versus an Ornn, it sucks. This item's only good when you're versus champions that can be one-shot. And along with this build, you would use a full damage page. And that's going to be up to you. You can use Dark Harvest, you can use Electrocute, you can use Airy. Whatever damage page you want to use, totally fine. I think the important thing is that you always go Ravenous Hunter, because you still need sustain. Teemo needs sustain. He's a very short range mage, okay? But, I personally would recommend something like this for full AP, all right? But, really you can do whatever you want. If you go Airy, you can do something like this, as long as you get that Ravenous Hunter, right? So that's going to be my fourth and, my fourth and final build, essentially. These are the 4 builds I'm running. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is what I think is going to be really good. Now, these builds are going to be for top lane. They're also going to be for jungle. In jungle, you wouldn't go Tanky Teemo since you're not laning somebody, but you can go PTA Teemo, or you can go one-shot Teemo for the build. Yeah, and for jungle, I think First Strike could be a good option. I'm still testing it, but if you're playing jungle and Pressy Attack's not viable, First Strike could be an upgraded Hail Blades, because you get the free boots for jungle, Futures Market, and Cosmic Insight, and you could still get whatever you need for jungling if you want to go attack speed or for more ganking. So for jungle, I would recommend Pressy Attack if you're versus tanks, and if you're not versus tanks, I would recommend the one-shot Teemo build with First Strike. Or you can just go Electrocute, Dark Harvest, Hail Blades. It doesn't really matter, right? For mid lane, probably going to go one-shot Teemo, but you need to think about if Pressy Attack would be good or not, or if you want to go Tanky Teemo just because it's going to let you survive more. For bot lane Teemo, you know, I'm not going to lie. In today's day and age, top lane Teemo is the best. But if you're going to play bot lane, just keep in mind when you're playing bot lane, it's going to not be as good as Teemo top. So if you're playing bot lane, just acknowledge that, hey, I probably should be playing Teemo top lane if I want to win every game. But if you're playing Teemo support, First Strike could be good if you are versus a support that you can auto first all the time from the bush. Also, Dark Harvest will be fine. And then you're probably going to be going just the one-shot build or the Leandra's build. Depends. You're only going to rely on one item for Teemo support, so choose wisely. Leandra's versus tanky targets, Luden's versus non-tanky. For those kind of builds, okay, if you're going support Teemo, you're just going to be doing something like this. There you go. And for secondary, just probably more AP. If you're going Dark Harvest, again, always Ravenous Hunter. But for support, it doesn't matter as much. Something like that is totally fine. For ADC, probably just PTA. So that is going to be my recommended builds and what I think is going to be best. So again, just a TLDW, too long didn't watch. Pressy Attack, top lane Riftmaker build, still going to be amazing. So Pressy Attack and Berserkers, Riftmaker, Nashers, beautiful. Sorry, Berserkers, Nashers, Riftmaker, always going to be good. Very good 1-2 punch of PTA Nashers. My favorite build, and what I think is going to be really strong with the buffs, is Tank Boots into Nashor's Riftmaker, and with Demonic Embrace, beautiful. Along with Grasp, really beefy, really reliable. Don't have to do situational items usually. It's just a perfect build. You just run it every game and be tanky. You're still going to do damage, beautiful. Third favorite build, situationally, Leandra's versus only tanks and tanks only with Pressy Attack. Fourth favorite build, one-shot Teemo over Squishies. Magic resist is very common, so this build doesn't happen often, but when it does, beautiful, especially mid lane. Maybe in the jungle too. Now, let me run you through things that I'm not running and that you may think are broken, right? But let me tell you they're not, okay? Zhonya's. I think with the introduction of Demonic Embrace and Cosmic Drive being good items now, because Demonic was poo last season, now it's slightly better. Cosmic was good last season, now it's slightly better for Teemo. I think Zhonya's might not be used as much, because Zhonya's either the best item in the game or the worst item in the game. But Cosmic Drive is always good, and Demonic might always be good if you have a health stacking build. So Zhonya's is going to be less used for me. Shadow Flame. We'll have to see how this item plays out. Initially, I think it's okay. It's good versus Squishies because the Magic Pen versus targets with less than 1,000 health, aka Squishies. So it's good versus Squishies if you're doing a damage-focused build. So if you're playing Tanky Teemo, you wouldn't be going this item. But if you're doing the Ludens or just a damage-oriented Teemo build, it will be good for Squishies and versus teams that stack shields. It has to be 3 or more for me to buy this item. Lichbane is poo-poo, don't build it. This item stinks, never build it. Cosmic Drive's always better. Other items are always better. Lichbane's poo-poo. Night Harvester is the worst Ludens, poo-poo. Now, Crown of the Shattered Queen has potential. Stay tuned for this item. I can see a build if you go Crown and Zhonya's with Ingenious Hunter. I can see that being very good versus Assassins. Stay tuned. It might be OP. We'll see. Everfrost, hard to use. Not bad, but not good. Be careful. Runes that I'm not going to be running that y'all may think are good. Lethal Tempo, #1 Sinner. It's not good on Teemo. If you can land 5 autos or more, aka versus bruisers and tanks, you don't need the attack range because they're going to be in your face. Where you need the attack range is versus mages and assassins, but you can't auto them 5 or more times. So this rune, I don't think it has a place for Teemo. It's never going to be better than Pressy Attack versus tanks and bruisers, and you're never going to be able to use it on mages and assassins. So there's no room for it, essentially. Dark Harvest, again, weak early game, so take it, if you're playing jungle or support, you can work with it. If you want to take it top mid, just acknowledge that your early game's kind of poop with it. Electrocute just doesn't have a place with me. I think it's okay, but it's not really anything crazy, especially with Grasp and PTA being so damn good. Ares, okay versus Mages and Assassins. I actually don't mind you using that. And First Strike. First Strike is going to be doo-doo. It's very hard to get that First Strike element off as Teemo. A lot of lanes, it's mano a mano. Someone else could poke you first. Its range is peanuts. So this item, this rune, I don't think will be good. It's been mediocre so far. I don't see it being great on Teemo. Probably not going to run it. You can't use Glacial Augment anymore. So that is going to be my first impressions for preseason season 12. If you think I'm an idiot, comment below. If you think I'm a genius, comment below. But again, enjoy the fresh tech. Enjoy your games. Have a happy preseason. I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.